Hi and welcome to the Cool Ag on the banks of Loch Lomond. Now today I'm joined by Edd Dougall and we'll be talking about his intuition and life coaching. Good afternoon, sir.
Hi Derek, how are you?
I'm fine. Now what we're going to be touching on, it's what is actually intuition life coaching. But before we start that, just tell me a wee bit about yourself.
Well, Derek, the whole idea of this is, since I was a kid, about 4 or 5 years of age, I've always known the places to go, the people to speak to, the things to do, the people to avoid, the situations and events to avoid, and I've just always known. I've always been guided, and when I say guided, I remember being 4 or 5 and asking a question in my imagination. For example, would this be a good idea? Whatever it might be.
What is intuition?
Intuition is effectively, in my opinion, intuition is your sixth sense. It's like your inner guidance system, which tells you, ding, ding, don't go there. Ding, ding, don't do that. As a child, we listen to it. As an adult, we seem to have lost it. We seem to switch it off because we're looking at very practical things. Your intuition, you can't touch it. You can't smell it. You can't write it down. You can't cut it in half, but people would call it your gut feeling, your intuitive thoughts, your sixth sense. People give it different names. It's a little bell inside you that goes ding, ding, ding. This is for you, or this is not for you. And I've always been very gifted, I think, in the sense that since I've been 4 or 5, I always listen to the bell, always. And 99.9, the bell's always correct, every single time. And even the time when it's not quite correct, it's always like nearly correct. So most of the decisions that I make always pretty much produce a good result, 8, 9 times out of 10. Whereas the average that I've kind of realised is that for some people, they get 3 out of 10, or 4 out of 10, or 2 out of 10. They don't get 6, 7, and 8. Usually, the scales are usually tipped against them. And the whole idea of bringing this to people just now with their intuition is to learn them, to teach them rather, that my calculations is that every single person in the human planet Earth we live here, everybody has 36,000 thoughts a day, every single day.
As much as that?
Well, I've actually tried to count them. I actually sat with a piece of paper and tried to count them. I got to about 37,000 thoughts, and the words I'm using just now is another thought, so that it's bigger and bigger. I would probably not be surprised in a few years if they have some scientific evidence which says we can prove that a human being has 50,000 thoughts or 60,000 thoughts. I've managed to count 36,000 plus. Now, for the people who are watching just now, this is a really, in my opinion, a very, very powerful thing that I learned. So here's a question. If people were to take just the idea I have, the 36,000 thoughts, and this is what my program is about, my teaching program is about, and they used 59% or 61% of those thoughts for negative things or negative outcomes, what kind of day would they have? Okay? Now, can I ask you that question? Where would the scales be in that for you?
Well, between
59, 61%, you were thinking about negative thoughts or negative outcomes as such.
to be honest. I try to think positive, but not always possible. So,
but what kind of day would you think you would have?
Probably not a bad, not a good day if it's
right.
59, 60%.
But that's the way that most people live. That's my research. Okay. So the idea is that if you can take those thoughts and you can tip them in your balance, then that's a win-win situation. But here's what happens is, and this is the question that people are looking in this video just now. If you've got 59, 61, 62% of your thoughts which are working for, well, they're working against you, you'll have a kind of not such a great day. Now imagine if you did that for a week. And imagine if you did that for a month. Now imagine if you did that for a year. What kind of year would you have? Do you get the point with this? Now imagine if you did it for a lifetime. That's the kind of life you would have. And that's the kind of life that some people have. Not such a great life.
So people would be a lot more happier.
They'd be a lot more happier and a lot more pleased with themselves, if you will, and their life would go a lot more smoother if they were in the position to tip these things on their favour, tip these thoughts on their favour. And that's what this whole training program is about, to be able to tip the thoughts in your favour so that you get the good results that you need. And this can be physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, whatever way.
Now, But here you actually do seminars under the heading Conversations with the Universe.
Yep.
Now that sounds really fascinating. What actually is it?
It's about one thing very, very simple, and it's this. Every single human being should be told this, and I'm actually making it available here to say to everybody who's listening and watching this video, and that is that every single human being has the responsibility, and it's your job, to be happy. That's it. If you're not being happy, then you're in the wrong road. So you must be heading towards your happiness. And what I've done is I've put together, with the skills that I have, I've put together a training seminar. And the training seminar will actually teach people the skills that I have. And they'll get results really, really, really quickly.
How quick?
Sit with somebody for 25 minutes, they'll get results.
As
quick as that. As quick
If somebody's
as that,
been have these bad thoughts for all this time, you can just switch it on within 20 minutes.
If they listen to what I'm saying to them and they take the exercise, I'm going to give them and I'll do this later in a few minutes, a very, very simple exercise which will effectively change your brain chemistry. And it'll change your brain chemistry in a heartbeat. And we're going to do this in the video just in a few minutes. But the big thing is, this stuff isn't new. What I'm saying isn't new. The way I'm presenting it might be different, but since time began, people have had this. And as we grow older, and you become 12 and 14 and 15 and 16 and 20 and 30, people switch their intuition off. They don't listen. And what this whole training thing is that I've put together is that they can now re-listen. They can learn to re-listen. So I'm going to open a door for them, and they can go, I've done that before. And it'll be very normal, very natural. Mm-hmm. And it'll be very relaxed for them. Because the big thing is to be happy. That's the number one job that everybody has in the world, is to be happy. And we're really quite busy pleasing everybody else and making everybody else happy. Mm-hmm. We should maybe concentrate a bit on ourselves and make ourselves happy. Now,
I was saying, we'll touch on this before, but how long, you were saying it takes about 20 minutes. Now, what is actually the long-term benefits after doing your course and training, and can people keep that up? Or is it, would you just take a 15, 20 minutes going through this thought process?
The benefits long-term are very simple. You'll have it for the rest of your life as long as you're alive on the planet Earth. Simple as that. Should you choose to use it.
That's the big...
You don't have to use it. You can take the stuff and you can learn it, and you can get absolutely fabulous results. Then you can throw it in the bin, as people do, right? But that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is taking somebody who would like to learn more about themselves, someone who'd like to learn about what we call life coaching. Life coaching can be learned in a very, 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 very short space of time. I kind of strip away all the nonsense that people teach. You know, I don't mean to disrespect, but it's all back to the bones and
back to basic
stuff. We don't need to spend 16 hours on a therapy session. That's just absolute nonsense, in my opinion. I can sit with somebody for 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and produce a result. I take them on a little journey. Then I show them how to go on the journey on their own.
Do you get people going, you're talking a lot of blah, 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 you think you don't know what you're talking about, or they're really anti what you're trying to do?
Unfortunately, in the planet Earth, there's some people who just need all the rubbish. They need all their... I'm not going to swear in this video.
No swearing.
They just need... Let's call it... There's some people who need all their stuff. And they like to be miserable. And they like to be sad. And they like to be moaning minis. And they like to be the world owes me a living. And I think, God bless them and let them get on with it. That's not what this is about. This is about something completely and totally different. And here's a very simple exercise for people who are watching in just now. If someone was in a, let's call it a bad mood, or they're a bit sad, or they felt a bit, maybe not so happy. Here's a very simple exercise they can do, and this will actually change someone's brain chemistry. As quick as that. And here's the exercise. Simply sit down in a chair, in your car, whatever. Obviously, you're driving the car. Yep. And simply close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just tell yourself the word relax. Just the word relax. Now, as you take that deep breath, what I'm looking for you to do is to find 10 things, only 10 things, that you're grateful for, that you can say thank you for. For example, I'm thankful or grateful we're sitting having a conversation and having a nice cup of tea. There's one thing. I'm thankful that we're sitting in a beautiful location on the banks of Loch Lomond where the sun is shining. There's another thing. So we're exercising what I call the attitude of gratitude. You're being grateful for things. You're being grateful for the music that you listen to, for the car that you drive.
Basically, the things that you take for granted.
Yes, some people take a lot of things for granted, and I was speaking to someone last week, about 10 days ago, and I said to them, "Can you give me 10 things?" And the guy went, he couldn't think of one. Now, you can understand why that guy's either very upset or he's unhappy, whatever. And I gave him a couple, and he went, "Oh, I just never thought of that." And I says, "Let's take it back to the basics. Let me start you off with a couple. Be thankful for the fact that you can see. Be thankful for the fact and be grateful for the fact that you can hear. And be grateful and be thankful for the fact that you can talk and you can walk and you can go to bed at night." There's 5 or 6 there just to start with. Be thankful for the fact that you're married to someone who loves you. Be grateful for the fact that the sun is shining and you're happy and you're in the day. But here's something very simple. When you get out of bed in the morning, you go to the bathroom and you breathe yourself, close your eyes and say thank you. Because a lot of people can't do that. Right? They've got problems, physical problems or whatever. That's the basic. I do that every day. I go to the bathroom and I clean my teeth and I say thank you, I can clean my teeth and thank you I've been to the bathroom and thank you I'm having a cup of tea and thank you for my coffee and thank you. It's always about saying thank you and always being grateful for things. Now, it's not physically possible, and the people who watch, try this. It is not physically possible to think of 10 things that you're truly grateful for and be unhappy at the same time. It's not possible. You can be one or the other, but you cannot be both at the same time. And what you're doing is you're altering your view of the world. What I'm not talking about here, Derek, is saying, I'm going to pretend that everything's fine, but I'm really sad. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about finding the things that you're grateful for.
Make you happy.
Make you happy. Your health. This is a really fundamental thing. If people don't get this, then they probably won't get anything else. They'll be miserable for the rest of their life. And I'm being quite blunt in saying that. Find 10 things that you're happy for. And when you find those 10 things, find another 10. And then when you find that 10, find another 10. So through your day, you're going through your day and you're being grateful for things. This kind of inspires your intuitive thoughts as well, to be grateful for things. And things happen to be presented to you. They just show up. And you can be extremely grateful for them as well. And that's you starting to connect with the universe, if you want. I personally call it a universe. You're starting to connect there. And that's the big connection. And it's along the lines of, people say it's not so much what you know, it's who you know. Well, I've got this attitude. I say, well, I know the universe, so guess who I know? So I can never make a mistake along the lines of I don't know. I can make a mistake because I'm being ignorant or because I don't pay attention. And I can make a mistake and say, do you know what? It's okay. It's fine. I'm happy.
Now, how can people actually get in touch with you and, for your training? Is it phone, TV, whatever?
A couple of ways to do it. On the website, at the bottom of this video, just here, you will see the website coming up and you'll see the email. Now, people can contact me by email and they can ask a question. People can contact me through the website. And within the next 4 or 5 weeks or so, we're going to have this training course online as an online training course that people can use as a module over maybe 4 or 5 weeks. And they get me as their teacher, for want of a better word. And we take the thing very, very slowly. But the idea is to get the result that they need instantly, because most people want proof of stuff.
Proof it works.
This little exercise I gave them just now, if anybody uses this exercise, they'll get proof instantly, because they'll change the brain chemistry, they'll change the way they look at the world. Getting back to contacting, one of the things I'd like to offer people is a 40-minute coaching session with myself personally, online. So we could do it on Skype, we could do it on an email, we could do it on a mobile phone, or even a landline. This is completely free for a whole 40 minutes to see if what I have to offer is of value to them. There's no holds barred, there's no questions you can't ask, and I'll be answering the questions intuitively. I'll be doing exactly what I'm looking to teach people to do. So I won't have notes, I won't have a script, it'll be intuitive. And I'm looking forward to that, because people are going to benefit from this absolutely enormously. And you're invited as well.
So I was going to say that, I'm coming along. So on that note, Eddie, I'd like to thank you for coming along, doing this video. I'd just like to say thank you, come to the Coolag on the banks of Loch Lomond, and thank you for watching. Good night.
Thanks, Derek.